Oh, I start?
You always start.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Bills postgame show brought to you by #Sports. So the Bills end up...
Wait. I'm
What?
surprised.
I know you do. Stream.
Welcome, everybody.
I know.
Once again, Bills
Hey.
win. How about that?
I know.
How about that?
That's strange, isn't it? It's fun to say. Got to be honest. Fun to say Bills win. The Bills win. The Bills win.
Yes, we always have that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just loading up everything that we need. So as you may notice, we now have a beautiful ticker down at the bottom. Look, I even have to raise my hand to show you the beautiful ticker right here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm glad you
That's
enjoy
right.
that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So yeah, Bills end up taking this one, and we had a debate offline, and that debate was the extra point that Detroit attempted in the out their second touchdown. This was a big, long debate. I think it's a good one to talk about because you look at a 1-point difference in the game, right? And you're in the first half. If you're Detroit, you scored twice. The first extra point didn't go so well. Second extra point, you attempted, you're fine, right?
Yeah.
However, you lose the game by a point.
Yes.
So, what does that say about what you need to do?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that I'm a bit of an old school kind of guy. You know what I mean? You're playing away. You always try to take points when you can. Going for one there puts you up 6. Okay? You're forcing Buffalo, who has an injured kicker, to score a touchdown and get the extra point, or dial up some two-point call.
Yeah.
So I think when you have a chance to get points in a game like this with two defenses there, they were neck and neck. They're 19 to 20 in scoring defenses in the league. So you know points are going to come at a premium. So you take them whenever you can. It was unfortunate that they missed the first extra point, but the second one that's one of those things where you just kind of got to feel out the game. There was still. I think there was still 34 minutes left in the game. So it's not like there was 6 minutes left.
Right.
And you want to go for 2 there. I can understand the analytics that come into that.
Sure.
But you have to just take the points when you can. I mean, I'm always a big believer in that.
Yeah, sure. I get that. I do want to point out, John Marilla comes in and says wide right out of the gate. It sure was. I know. But again, like you look at it, and Detroit definitely had a chance to win this. This was Josh Allen's official comeback. And hey, look at that. We got our live viewer chat showing. So everybody can see this? I'm new to this, guys. I don't know what this stuff looks like.
Yeah? Absolutely.
All right. Sweet deal. Okay. So yeah, this was the first official comeback victory for Josh Allen. Again, not a lot. Just moving the camera. It wasn't a lot to come back from because Detroit really didn't score all that much, right? Their opportunities were kind of few and far between. The Bills... again, I think only had 3 conversions on third down. You always hear me talk about that, like, real early. Well, that's kind of the deal. The Bills were, I think, 3 of 12 on third down. Like, you just can't be 3 of 12 on third down. You can't be 3 of 12.
No, you can't. And it was funny, too, because we talked about Daboll's play all the time. We always talk about Daboll's play ball.
Right.
Open the game, 12 plays.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yep.
They get the ball the first time in the second half, 9 plays. Okay? Other than that was 21 plays right there.
Yeah.
The rest of the game, they ran 33.
Yeah.
So it's,
I know.
It's not that good. You know, they ran 12 plays on their first drive. To close out the half, they ran only 19 more offensive plays to finish the game.
Yeah.
Finish the half. So he's good at scripted plays.
Yeah.
He's good at coming out, and he knew that this game was going to be very, very tight the entire time. He knew the game was going to be like that. So a lot of things. I mean, and he's down. He was down a lot of plays.
Yeah, big time.
I think what they tried to do was they tried to his focus today, which is what I like. He tried to get the ball out of Allen's hands quick.
Yep.
All right. Not have him run as much. I didn't see many design run calls. Allen was not running that much.
No.
And it was almost like he was trying to use Isaiah McKenzie to supplement a McCoy.
Sure.
Getting him out in open space and letting him try to work.
Yeah, sure.
So in that respect, I liked it. But then again, like we said, they were playing the Dolphins that had their defense is in the 20s. The Jets is in the 20s. They're at 20. You know what I mean? So it's a little oh yeah, and Ellington. Edmonds stepped up for not having Milano. Anyway, interesting thing, I saw the first series was the fact that they kept bumping Poyer down in the box.
Yeah, they did.
So they were playing Alexander next to Edmonds, and they kept bumping Poyer down.
Yeah.
And then he ended up with 11 tackles. It was shocking.
Yeah,
you
you saw Raphael Bush play a lot in that nickel role as well. So they brought Bush down as well in the second half to kind of play a nickel role, which was fine to see, right? You know that. John Merla, you can't drop passes. They are drive killers. Absolutely true. I do want to get back to Edmonds, though, and Alexander, because you look at Lorenzo Alexander's future on this team, right? And what really do you see? Unfortunately, you see a guy who's a little bit older, right? And maybe a move to the middle is going to extend his career another season. Truthfully speaking, I understand that he's still generating pass rush on the outside, but I mean, he's a smart football player. So I would feel like a move to the middle as sort of like a third down linebacker for next season. Because I really struggle to see Lorenzo Alexander with the team next year, purely from a performance standpoint, because I think you can replace what he does on the strong side. I think you can replace that.
It's tough to replace that kind of experience that he brings to the table, and the kind of leadership that he brings as well. I mean, you talk about the intangibles of a guy all the time. You know, what is he going to bring to the table as far as that goes? So.
Yeah, that's right. I will point out, drive killer, absolutely, you cannot be Zay Jones. Dear God, is he playing just awful, man? Just awful football. He is just not fighting for body position. I mean, these are things that we kind of knew coming out of college, that he wasn't exactly a fighter for that kind of stuff. So he doesn't really fight for body position, doesn't really fight for, ball position. It's a little bit of a problem. I would love to say that, I would love to say that Zay does a great job when given the opportunity, but he's got an opportunity to stamp himself in his NFL career right now, and he's just failing to do so, man. No. There's just no it looks like he's playing very non-passionate football. Like he's kind of walking through it. He's letting the passes get to him.
That's a habit that he's unfortunately developed, and it's gonna haunt him because there's so many passes that he's gonna miss because the defender's gonna be more aggressive than he is.
Right. Yeah.
You can't just try to get everything like this. It just doesn't. I get it.
Yeah, can't do it.
No,
can't do it. And I think that's kind of what's happening, right? He's letting the ball get into him. He's not really fighting for body position, and that's just a mistake. You can't do that. Tim Ellington. Allen's accuracy is hard to read when the Bills receivers lead the NFL in drop passes. 1,000,000,000% agree, man. You cannot be dropping passes. You cannot be dropping passes. Can't do it.
No.
Can't do it.
No.
Bad. It's bad. Just bad. You can't do it.
It was funny too because I was on my way here, and I'm of course double nickel. It's only the game round, so you gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
So I listened to it, and it was only Bulldog.
Yeah.
So he goes into this rant. This guy goes, "Yeah, guys, I just wanted to tell you." His first caller. He goes, "Yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys have been hammering Allen all year." And he goes, Bulldog right out of the gate. That's not true. That's not true.
God.
He starts going. He goes, "Oh, wait a minute." He goes, "I got a point to make." He goes, "No, you don't." And he hung up on it.
And that was that?
That was that. It was like, "No, I think I've been objective in judging Josh Allen and this and that." Every outlet I've ever seen, every time I've ever heard him talk about the guy, it's like they think he's EJ Manuel 2.0. He's just this huge bust that's in it, and it's the fact that Allen was a different guy today.
Yeah.
He just seemed like he was in command of everything that was around him. Nothing shocked him. Nothing. He knew they had a spy.
Yep.
He knew when they were in man. He knew where they were in zone. And then a couple times, he just needs to get rid of the ball. Just now, not try to extend it a little bit more. Like when you get out past the hash in between the numbers, and then you still don't have a play to make, throw it away now. Don't just try to, because there's a couple times he took shots near the sidelines.
Well, one of them, I mean, here's the thing. I think defenders know that as he starts scrambling, he's going to force something. So they start jumping the receivers, right? Everybody knows he does it. He's not going to throw the ball away. And today was the first time we really saw him throw the ball away. Yes, he was 13 for 26, right? I think that's what it was. I think it was 13 for 26. But the truth is that he did throw the ball away. right? Which we haven't really seen him do. He did try and force a pass into Deontay Thompson, I think it was, on the sideline that almost got jumped and picked.
Yeah,
that was a struggle. So teams know that that's kind of his bag. They know that he's going to try. Teams know that he's going to try and force in passes. At this point, he's still throwing the ball late, and when you have a quarterback that has a big arm like that, they're going to depend on their velocity to get the ball into tight windows, right? So he's missing opportunities because the windows in the NFL are very small to get these guys to throw the ball into, right? And he's missing a lot of those windows right now, and it's a shame.
It's almost like he wants to extend the play to get him wide open. He doesn't want to throw him open. All right, I'm going to extend the play. I'm going to get him wide open.
Yeah, but
it'd make it a lot easier for myself.
Yeah, but Mar, I think this is a question that we're going to see in the chat. Can you throw a guy open when you're throwing the ball 65 miles an hour? Like the pass to Deontay Thompson, I thought was a great example. Allen rolls left, makes a really hard throw across his body, keeps his shoulders square to Deontay Thompson, throws a nice ball, but it was a bullet, right? So the ball's on target or it's incomplete, right? There's no chance for Thompson to adjust to that ball en route. It's either on target or it's incomplete. That's it, period, the end. Okay. So that's something that when we talk about he needs to learn a little more touch on his passes, that's a prime example because he threw a bullet. And Thompson was there, but had that ball been just a little bit softer, he would have been able to adjust to the ball. And we still just don't see that. When he's on the run, the ball comes out at 1 billion miles an hour.
I understand that microcosm of it. When he's rolling and he's trying to get there. The benefit of having his arm is that he doesn't have to make the read on time. Yeah. He's just not really pulling the trigger. He's trying to take care of the ball. He's trying to get himself. He's trying to get good plays in, and I understand that. However, that goes on to decision making.
Right.
That goes. Either you're going to throw it or you're not. Well, if I have to put everything on it to get it there, then it's not. You're not connecting with the wide receiver at that point.
Right.
So I agree with you in that point. But the only thing that his arm gives you benefit of is that he can make the read late and still get it there, and he's not. But what I liked is that he was looking not only right all the time.
Yep.
He was looking left a few times. So, to that respect, like I said, that's why I thought he had an overall better command of the game today than he has in the last 3 weeks.
Sure.
So.
Sure. John Merla points out Allen's passes were accurate. It looked like he tried to take some speed off when necessary. The Robert Foster touchdown pass was a beautiful example of that because he could have thrown that. He could have thrown that ball.
Yeah.
30 miles an hour harder if he wanted to. But if that was first off, let's call it what a phenomenal route by Robert Foster that was.
Yeah.
It was perfect. He read the safety great. He knew that the safety was going to have to drag over. He waited for the crosser to come in so he could sneak right behind it because the crosser dragged the cornerback left open. It was a beautiful route. And Allen dropped in just a dime. Dropped a dime in. And that's something we really haven't seen this season. We know it's there, right? But we haven't seen a pass thrown like that all season.
Just as we talked about Edmonds, when he knows where the play's going and he's sure of himself, he's gonna start flying. When Allen knew he was throwing that, almost knew he was gonna throw that before the play was even called.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's looking around, he's looking at the safety, he's doing all this other stuff.
Yep.
But it's amazing when you have the outside wide receiver who actually runs off somebody, rather than Calvin Benjamin, who just kind of, The one pass I have to question though is on that final drive when they were trying to run out the clock and he threw that little lofter to Kroom.
Yeah.
Nice little touch pass there too. But what was Zay doing there? Why is there two receivers in that zone?
There shouldn't be. I don't know if there was a route adjustment there because we should start seeing that stuff in the offense, adjusted routes. But I don't know if maybe one of them made a route adjustment and that's just the product of it. I'm not really sure. Poppy I says, what do you guys think about Keith Ford's performance today? Stencil Kisser, Allen stayed in the pocket most of the game. I say it's progress. Allen really did stay in the pocket. We're going to get to Allen in a little bit. I do want to talk about Keith Ford right away because once you start dig in the depths of your roster, right? And you're looking at it, you're going, Keith Ford. Well, at least he's been on the team for a while, right? I understand he was just brought up to the Bills' active roster. He's been on the practice squad. But, boy, he was running like he needed a job, wasn't he? Just taking a pounding, right? Didn't care. Just pounded the ball. Mind you, not great statistically, but did he give you what you needed out of him? Absolutely. He did exactly what his job was supposed to be. I don't think they asked a lot of him.
Well, listen. Let me just go to the defense just to try to circle this back around to Ford, okay? All right, you have Marlowe on your practice squad. He comes in for a game, he does pretty well. You have Lewis, and you have Wallace, these guys come in. Wallace wasn't picked on today. It was Tre'Davious White that was picked on
big
today.
time.
Like we talked about speed guys with Galladay. You know, he had some trouble today. But those are guys that they took off their practice squad. They came right in, filled the role, and did everything. Now you bring it around to 4. Been on the practice squad. You know, because one of the concerns that we always have about this team is developing talent. Whoever they draft up, can they develop them?
Right.
And you know, I knew he's the last bullet in the gun.
Sure is.
So the guy he did run. I think it was like 11 for like.
I can pull it
11
up.
for like 60 or something like that.
He didn't average more. I think he was under 4 yards a carry. Hold on, I got it right here. So Keith Ford was 14 carries for 46 yards, 3.3 yards a pop. The longest carry of the day was on Josh Allen. No surprise, 10 yards. That was your longest carry of the day, right? So not great from a statistical standpoint. Yeah.
I don't think McDermott might have given Jim Bob Cooter too much room to operate.
The best name in sports. It really is the best name in sports.
The OC?
Yeah, best name in sports. Love that name, Jim Bob Cooter. Keith Ford I thought looked good. Patrick DeMarco, 1 run. His first rush of the season.
I'm gonna sit back and drink because I know that here comes the rant.
Okay, I do want to point this out.
Let me just focus it on you.
No. I have some content. I understand that you need help with special teams. I understand that Patrick DeMarco is great in pass protection, right? He's great in run protection. He's great as a lead blocker, right?
He's a well-rounded fullback.
He is. He does a lot of things well.
Doesn't need fullbacks.
Yeah, exactly. But they did ding. We've seen 2 teams put offensive linemen in that role. 2 teams.
Saw Detroit do it.
Detroit did it, and who did the Bills play last week? Miami did it. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that putting an offensive lineman in there, what that does is it tells you, okay, we're probably going to run this football. But if you're putting a fullback in there, you're also saying, yeah, we're probably going to run this football. The one thing the offensive lineman takes away is those kind of like play-action walkout leaks to the fullback. You know, like that one play in Madden that would always work. That one play in Madden that you always run was that, that fullback in the flat. Yeah. It worked great, right? It worked great.
I love when you rant, though.
But the fact is that the fullback is sort of a needless position in today's NFL. And as you started diving through the depth of running backs on this team, if Patrick DeMarco was ever going to be meaningful as a runner, it was today. And he took one draw play for 9 yards. What are we doing at this point?
What is he?
What are we doing with that roster spot? Yeah, exactly.
With the lack of leadership you have on the offensive side of the ball, could he be one of the guys that people look to?
Right.
I know I'm asking.
No, I don't see a reason.
I'm just trying to put the question out there. Why? I'm trying to get a reason why he's still on the team.
He's captain.
Team captain.
Special teams.
All the special teams.
Yeah.
He's your insurance policy, I guess, if all these running backs go out.
Oh man, that's a terrifying policy. But that's the thing. If you were going to cash in that insurance policy, it had to be today.
Well, they were high on Ford. They were very high on his abilities and what to do. So, I don't know. Dable likes that power eye, man.
I know he does.
That's one of his bread and butter. In a league where it's the dumbest thing to say is the passing league. Everyone knows that. Yeah. But in that respect, you start to think, hey, you look at the division that they got to play in. Rodgers is in there, Trubisky's in there, and Cousins is in there.
Yeah.
Okay. How's the Detroit Lions, just specifically for today? How's that defense set up? It's set up to defend the pass. Mm-hmm. Okay. Like most defenses are in the NFL now, they're designed to defend the pass. So how many guys are really tailored and conditioned to? Hey, they're running power eye. How are we going to defend this?
Right.
We got our 6'1", 220-pound linebacker who can cover anybody, but we put our 250-pound fullback on him. It's done.
Today kind of honed in for me the fact that the Bills absolutely need to address offensive line in this upcoming draft early and probably often. At Jordan Mills, I mean, if you guys in the chat have anybody that you want the Bills to go after in the draft, please let us know, because I saw Jordan Mills whiff more times out on the right side today. I saw Teller pull and miss a few times. There were some things about today's performance that were really for me from an offensive line standpoint. And you look at who's going to be there at the top of the draft and where the Bills are going to be. There's going to be some really good offensive line talent, especially when you have a draft that's so defense heavy, right? You have a draft that's very, very defense heavy. You've got an opportunity to grab one of the best offensive players in the draft 10, at 12. Like, you still have an opportunity to slide in there and take the best offensive player on the board. So, I mean, again, guys out there, if there's anybody that you want to see, go ahead and let us know. But, I mean, I have to imagine that tackle is going to be a major focus for them.
Oh, it is going to be a huge focus. Whether or not, I mean, we looked at the free agent market before as far as the tackles going. There wasn't guards were pretty much the highlight of who's going to be on the free agent market come in March. But I mean, to what we stated earlier, Allen had a lot of time to throw today.
Yeah.
Okay? So it seems that Patricia and his defense was going to say, "Listen, we're going to let you beat us, with the pass."
Yeah, that's precisely what they said.
Try to beat us with the pass. We're not going to, if they were spying him, they were dropping in cover, they were dropping in quarters and everything.
Yep.
But the thing was, Allen showed you that he can throw the ball around if you want to give him some time.
Yeah.
All right. And he wasn't. It wasn't like the things that we feared. He takes off too early. Mm-hmm. He runs a lot. He was sitting back there. If he had time, he was going to sit there.
Yeah.
And then he would run. Right. So, in that respect, I thought that was all right. I liked the performance of the line today, even though there were times where it was like, "Oh God, what are you doing?" Anytime they decided to bring weak side pressure, they had trouble.
Yeah.
I had trouble picking it up. I mean, Dawkins got called for a couple penalties today.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think some of that was play design. They had a screen that they threw. I think it was to Ford in the third or fourth quarter.
Oh, downfield, yeah.
Yeah, and Dawkins got called for downfield. That play developed so long. I mean, you can't have. This is my problem with Dable, is that play took so long to develop. The offensive linemen, they're gone. They're going to be down the field on that play.
Well, every time he tries to run that screen, it sucks.
It does.
I don't know why he keeps trying to call it.
It does.
I think one of the things was he was trying to use it as like a check down, which we echoed last week that he never uses any check down. So sensing that no one ever covers the check down, he might try to do that.
Yep.
But as far as it's concerned, I think you have to almost ballpark to hold, no matter what line you have. I'm just speaking generally right now. No matter what line you have, if you have a quarterback that's as mobile as Allen, you could probably ballpark 2 holding calls a day.
Sure.
Or a game. Because he's going to run, and when you're blocking somebody and you expect them to just come straight in one way, that's why Brady never leaves the pocket. Ever.
No, doesn't have to.
You know where he's going to be all the time. So you don't. There's not many holding calls.
Yep, you're right.
Like that. And I hate to bring him up as an example, but when you have a mobile quarterback and those defenders start running all over the place, you're inside. You're inside the framework of them. And they start running. You're already holding on to them. So that's why I don't really get too bent out of shape as far as holding calls go.
Right.
All the other ones, the false starts, the okay.
The chat on the side was just not loading up new comments, so I was making sure it's the same ones for a while. So let's see here. Let's catch up on a few of these comments. Let's see. Robert Shuri. 2 things I saw late that I liked was Poyer made a couple great tackles to force a punt. Absolutely, Poyer was big today. It's not a role that we've seen Poyer play.
I've seen him drop down occasionally in the box.
Yeah, but we haven't seen this from him at all. And I'm glad that they dropped Poyer instead of Hyde, because I like Hyde, but once you start asking Hyde to come down and possibly cover somebody in the slot, that's not a good combination. It's just not a strength of his.
It plays to both of those strengths, because we've seen some touchdowns recently in the past few weeks where Poyer has gotten touchdowns thrown on him. So if you're going to drop a guy down, might as well drop Poyer, because he's good in that intermediate range. But when they get deep, it's not good.
Well, and Rod also said, and secondly, I like that on 4th and inches, you go for the win instead of punting. You got 3 wins this season, man, coming into this game. You got, 4 wins. Yeah. Coming into the game. You got 4 wins. Just go for it, man. At what point, what's the difference, right? What's the difference?
No.
John Marilla, DeMarco, 1 run for 9 yards, best production per carry of a running back. If we're going to follow that logic, then Deion Dawkins is your most efficient wide receiver with 1 reception for a touchdown. So this is a real slippery slope. Not sure you want to start sliding down that one.
He's quick. I'm just going to say he's quick.
If it's about Deion Dawkins, I know it, because he is misplaced as a left tackle. He needs to go back into guard.
Why is it that
misplaced as left
you're
tackle?
most disappointed in, everything about it?
I don't know.
Tackling few.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Tim Ellington, McKenzie would have been better, but 2 few receivers take him out of that rotation. McKenzie got banged up today on that jet sweep, and he went down.
Yeah, we didn't confirm if it was his Achilles or not.
No, he came back to receive some punts, so I have a feeling it might have just been a cramp, because he got down.
What about the second one? Didn't he go out twice? I thought he went out twice.
Yeah, he went out. Well, he came up off the jet sweep.
Yes.
and then he went back to the huddle and ran the next play.
Gotcha.
And then it was the ensuing punt on the next possession, start the next possession, that he ran for 4 yards and fell to the ground. So yeah, that's that.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's kind of, unfortunately, it's kind of the way that it goes.
I like the receiver. I
How
haven't said that all year, but I like these guys.
bad did this defense miss Matt Milano? How bad do you think? I mean, there was a lot of cloak and dagger today to cover up his responsibilities, if you ask me.
That's a great phrase.
It was a lot of cloak and dagger. I think, because
it
was.
Yes,
It was, because
So-
you looked at a revolving door inside, because you had Safford in there, you had Alexander in there. It was, you were moving guys in and out. You dropped Hoyer down, you were moving guys around pretty aggressively.
Well, I think it's one of those. You remember back when the Colts were playing, and we were talking about Derek Anderson playing?
Yeah.
And they said, hey, well, if there's any defense you want to play against, coming in back to your first game, it's got to be the Colts, right? Because their defense wasn't very strong.
Yeah.
When you look at this Detroit team,
Mm-hmm.
Johnson's out.
Yeah.
Your leading rusher, Zach Zenner, for crying out loud. So
Yeah.
you don't have to really worry about the run, which was, even though he had pretty good strength against the run in the past, Milano, I think he's much stronger in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
So not having to worry about that and saying, listen, they're going to try to sling the ball over the field, even though they're missing Tate, they're missing Jones. They have Galladay, and they have Toolo, whatever the heck his name is.
He's a big boy.
And you have Reddick. You have Theo Reddick, who's more of a danger in the pass game. So when he's in there, they're going to be throwing. A lot of times when Riddick was in the game, that's when Poyer dropped down.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm just going to shadow him. You didn't have the fear of, and Blunt wasn't used that much.
No.
I think he was hurt after a couple carries, but that you don't have that fear of the run game, which is what ultimately I think masked a lot of missing what Milano did.
Yeah.
In there. So, even though there's a lot of cloak and dagger stuff, that's so funny.
It's true, though.
It is so funny.
I think it's true.
No, but you didn't have a team that was going to run the ball today, so therefore Milano's absence didn't hurt you as much.
Right.
So,
yeah, I feel that.
And then you get 11 tackles out of Poyer, who's coming up on the run when they decided to. So,
all in all, a pretty offensive, boring game. It was very, let's just run this game out. I mean, Galladay was the most explosive player on either side. He was a man on a mission today. He was impressive. He was impressive.
But the thing is this, and this is the thing, it's pretty interesting. There were 2 or 3 times this year that we sat here and we covered post game and we said, listen, how did they lose that game?
Yeah.
They gave up 200 yards of offense. They did this. How did they lose that game? And then you point to 1 or 2 plays that were key in the game. Detroit's got to be going back home saying, how did we lose?
Yeah, they were in control.
We had the game.
Yeah, they moved the ball, relatively well. They seemed to be, if you didn't see the score, you would think that they were winning. Honestly, if you didn't see the score, you would think that they were winning.
They were in command of the game. I mean,
yeah, sure were.
JBC called a great game offensively for them.
Mm-hmm. Jim Bob Cooter.
Yeah.
JBC.
They were moving the ball relatively well.
Yeah.
It wasn't lit that the Bills gave them short fields. Mm-hmm. So it was how did we end up losing that game? We didn't.
Yeah.
The thing key was they had 4 penalties for 81 yards. They had 66 yards of penalties on pass interference calls, which. That's the thing I wanted to ask you about the question, because we always like to question Dable.
Yeah.
Where do those 66 yards come from?
Yeah.
If they're not on pass interference calls,
yeah.
I know you say, oh, the guy could have caught it, but where does that come from?
Well, not if it was Zay Jones. Good God. Okay, ready?
Yes, dear.
This right here. That's more reach than Zay put on any ball today. Right there.
What was your tweet?
Oh, I don't remember what it was. It was something about Zay
if you
Jones.
Had a memory, the show would be so much better.
I know, right? I think I said something about Zay Jones goes after contested balls 5% of the women at a wedding go after the bouquet. There's always the 1 or 2 really thirsty girls that are going for that bouquet for blood.
30.
Yeah, they're going out for blood.
Whoops.
We just ended up drafting Aunt Edna, who has a lot of cats and thinks that boxed wine is refreshing. That's it. I'll catch it if it comes to me.
Otherwise, I'm not stretching out for this.
No. At some point, I'm just going to expect Zay Jones to just give things the Matumbo. Just get out of here.
Does he? Do you think he's struggling from what happened last year? Do you think he's?
I don't know, man.
It's Christmas.
I don't
Ghost
know.
of Christmas past.
It's tough to blame his production on anything because he's getting opportunities. It's not that he's getting opportunities; he's getting plenty of opportunities. But man, you have to fight for the football in the NFL.
Yeah.
You have to fight for body position. You have to reach for the ball. Like, he doesn't high point a ball well at all. But these are all things that were, like, jumped out in his college tape. Like, okay, he lets the ball get inside, but he's always playing in the slot. So most of his receptions are coming within 7 yards. So ball's coming in. Right, exactly. So you get it, right? But, I mean, good God, man. Good God. You have to be better.
Yeah, if I could give you a little bit of credit too. Who comes in for him? Who runs a jet sweep?
Oh, Ray McLeod. Ray.
I go. What about McLeod? Like, yeah, McKenzie.
Yeah, that's right.
Kudos to you, my friend, for calling that. I'd like having 2 McKenzies though. I wouldn't mind having both of them.
I know.
On the field. There's a matchup nightmare. Which way are you going to run the jet sweep? Put them on both sides in the slot.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion them across.
The one thing we didn't see from Allen today was Allen's kind of had some sort of magic rabbit in the hat that when he's under pressure, he's been able to not only get away, but get away successfully, right? And really make something out of nothing. Really lack the ability to pull away from defenders today, right? I mean, I think we've kind of been, lulled into the false sense of security that Josh Allen's going to run for 100 yards a game, and that just wasn't the case. He didn't have a lot. Once he decided to go, I think it's because he again was looking for there. But unfortunately, there's no safe options that I'm seeing for him. I saw him throw one out pass, one dump off pass to Ford. It was to Ford. That was the only time I saw him check down all game, right?
Okay.
And when your quarterback's completing 50% of his passes, you got to start working some of those easy completions in. You'll
they
notice
did it
that
on the first drive. He had that on the first drive.
Right, and it's scripted, right? They were scripted though.
I'm going to deviate from my hate Dable claims.
You all right?
I'm all right. It was coffee. No, but here's. So what did they come out with? What did he try to establish in the first series? What was his script? What was his opener? You know what I mean? Boom, 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 boom. Quick outs, quick in, slants, comebacks. Everything right underneath. What does he unleash in the fourth quarter to try to? Was he Foster on a post?
Yeah.
That post corner. That it looked eerily reminiscent of the Jacksonville game, where he threw that same pass in that same end zone.
Right.
So I don't know if that was Dable's goal was to try to set that up, and he was killing 2 birds with 1 stone by saying, "I gotta get the ball in this kid's hands." McDermott had a meeting with me and said, if he runs for 100 yards again, he's calling DeFilippo. You know what I mean? So the big thing about it is that he needs to. I like that he was trying to get the ball out of the kid's hands early and give the script to Detroit as, "Hey, he's not going to run today.
Right.
You want to let him throw? We're going to let him throw.
Right.
Okay. You want to be the first team that gives him 300 yards passing? That's fine by us. We'll let him do it.
Sure.
So to that, I will give him credit.
Yeah.
But then again, it goes to the script.
Mm-hmm.
He ran
Big
12
time.
plays on that first drive, 19 for the rest of the half. Okay, in-game adjustment. That's the thing that worried me going into the second half was that we know how the bloodline of Patricia and how they adjust at halftime.
Sure.
How is he going to do that? How is Dable going to fare against Patricia? And it was like you said, it was kind of a boring game, but everyone was playing it close to the vest until that pass to Foster.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, Benjamin Murphy has a couple comments that I want to get to.
Yeah.
I got a feeling that Coach told Allen to stop playing hero ball today. He was definitely playing more conservative and commanded the offense as opposed to trying to take the game over. I'm sure that as soon as they got into the locker room, McDermott walked over to Allen and hold on, Allen, let me take that cape off. He was helping him take off his jersey. It's like Coach Lou Brown, nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever have to do it again, right? However, with the game winding down. What did you see? You saw Allen run a QB keeper with the game winding down. Not quite 2 minutes yet.
He's your most experienced runner in the backfield.
I get it, but, I mean, you lost Milano in the last 2 minutes of the last game. What are you doing putting the ball in anybody's hands? Why are you putting it in Allen's hands to run for a 2-yard dive on second down? What are you doing? You need to protect. I understand you're only winning by a point, right?
Yeah.
That's it. You've only got a 1-point advantage, but you're not really looking necessarily at this game. You got to look down the line. What are you doing running Allen in that scenario when they know you're going to run the football? I understand running Allen when they're playing zone coverage on you, but when they've got 9 in the box, what are you doing running him into the lion's den? Like a literal lion's den. What are you doing?
that's some of the things that when I get off of the hey, Dable had a couple good calls today.
Yeah, we go back to that.
Back to that. So you think about it as well. You know, they're trying to kill clock, and he runs an out to Clay. It's incomplete, but why are you running an out with any kind of chance that he's going to get tackled out of bounds? You want stuff in the middle of the field. Now, did they give you anything in the middle of the field? Probably not. You know what I mean? So, and you know, I even questioned. Initially, I questioned the toss play because I've been a part of too many games where you're trying to run down the clock and you run a pitch play right behind the running back.
Sure.
And the other team picks it up. So I was always questioning that. But I like that call because you're either going first down or bust. You think they're going to clog up the middle of the field. And if you get the first down, you can run the clock out, which they ultimately did, but they didn't do it on fourth down. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, talk about from a game management standpoint. You don't get the first down there. Allen doesn't jump over the top. We're having a different post game right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So,
John Marilla, it looked like they wanted Allen to stay in the pocket longer and took his running away. Absolutely true. You know that's just the reality, right? It's teams know that Allen's going to try and beat you on the ground. He did it for 3 weeks. You can't do anything in the NFL for longer than 2 weeks without teams catching on to it, right?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
It was weird because you look at the defensive line of the Lions. They have some pieces there, but they weren't flying around the edges like the previous teams that we've seen.
Yeah, no, they really.
Other teams were trying to funnel Allen around and then back up into the mesh.
Right.
They were kind of almost doing twists and everything coming inside, so that he would have to roll.
I think it's funny. We have a microphone here, and Italians don't know how to talk without doing a lot of this, and he keeps batting it around.
Hello.
It's just live TV.
Sound like a McDonald's drive-thru.
Yeah, I know, right?
Speaking of,
no, we're not going to McDonald's. We got put over the coals for that. I'm not doing that again.
It still tasted good.
It's.
Fine, I'll go buy you a stinger. You get a stinger? You need to put on some weight in it.
Yeah, we'll go to Just Pizza, get some barbecued wings. We gotta do what we gotta do.
Monday night when they went to Applebee's for wings.
I know.
I guess we can kiss that sponsor goodbye.
Yeah. Let's see here. A lot of things about the game kind of concern me a little bit. Trey White's ball skills are a concern to me right now. It seems like he got hooked up with the Trey White goalie academy that he's looking for pucks and not balls, right? Because here's the thing: when you look at White, his body's in the right position, right?
All the time.
Yeah, he's getting hands in. He's close, right? But he's just a little off.
What number was McKelvey?
21.
What else? He had 2 numbers, didn't he?
Oh, he started 27, didn't he?
Did he?
I think he might have.
I don't know. I think it might have been 28. We'd have to do a fact check on that one.
Yeah.
But
his ball skills have not been excellent the last 3 games. But again, you line up Trey, and we talk about it all the time. Speed guys are kind of his kryptonite, right? But what are you going to do if you're Buffalo? You're not putting Wallace on him. No, you're not putting Wallace on Galladay.
I mean, he was in position for a lot of those passes, and I understand that. And then you got to think too. Stafford is a pretty savvy guy. You know, when he found out that, when he saw that Galladay was covered and White was trying to make up ground, he threw it short.
Yeah.
So that he would stop and he would definitely get run into by it. And then if you get a pass interference call on a defensive back early in the game, they think about that. They don't want to do that.
All game.
So,
it's all game.
Even though you got to have a short memory for those things, I think Trey White has relied on his athleticism and a lot of things he's done this year. But he has a little trouble, but he's still premier corner guy.
Well, and the Bills aren't asking him to do something that he hasn't done before, right? Last year they asked him to play a lot of man coverage. This year they're asking him to play a lot of man coverage. So it's not like this is a sophomore slump. They're asking him to do all the same things that he did last year, right?
Yeah, he got a lot of new pieces around him.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, but the back end's still the same. You still have Hyde. You still have Poyer. Who's on the other side of it?
They've had to shift because of the lack of depth on the other corner. Mm-hmm. You got guys cycling in over there.
Yeah.
That's where they're shifting. So he's been left by himself a lot.
So you're saying that they're shifting safety help to that side?
I think that's exactly what they're doing. You drop Poyer down in the box. Who's Hyde helping out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, no one.
Hyde's helping out Wallace, man.
Yeah, no one.
And because of that, and because Stafford was able to diagnose that. He was left one on Galladay. You don't have Milano playing underneath. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Usually Milano's dropping back in that zone, that hook to zone play. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't taken away today. I guess that's probably where you miss Milano.
Yeah, maybe.
You got Alexander running hook to curl, and Milano would have been there already.
Do you think this is the last game Stafford plays this season? Now that Detroit lost, they're out of the playoff race. He's been dealing with a back injury all season. Do you think this is the last? Do you think they're gonna shut Stafford down?
Is it the last game that Allen plays this year?
I mean, why would you do that?
Why would you shut down Stafford?
Because they're out of the race.
Okay, you still got to play football. He's still getting like $90 million guaranteed.
Well, I get that. I get that. What? I think, but they're different circumstances.
Let's trade him. Just trade him. Cut him.
No, they're different circumstances. Because with Allen, you're looking to try and get him playing time, right? Get him accustomed. Watch how teams adjust to him. Because remember, this is really the first time these next 3 weeks, the next 2 weeks rather, are going to be when he starts seeing teams really adjust on him. Because before he had tape, and then he went out, and then he came back, and now there's enough tape on him that teams are adjusting to him. And today, I think, was a perfect example of that. You saw the things that were available to him the last 2 games, they weren't there today. And today was a big learning experience for him.
Is Miami still in the playoff hunt?
Does that matter?
I think it does, because Belichick, when they play New England again, he's not concerned about game planning for Allen. He's concerned about game planning for playoff teams. So he's going to do the status quo for Allen.
Are you calling the Bills a trap game? Are we going to have the whole trap game discussion again?
No, I'm not saying it's a trap game. I'm just saying that, I mean, they got to keep winning to try to secure home field, which is going to be tough at this point. But they're not going to throw the Belichick book at him. They're going to play how they play. He'd probably play the same way he played against Derek Anderson. He don't care.
Right.
But Belichick won't care if they win the game 3-2. That's the thing. He doesn't care. So he'll do what he does against Allen, but he won't. Here's the thing about having familiarity with Daboll, having familiarity with Allen. The first time he's going to play against Allen, he's going to go up against them. If he throws the book at how he's going to defend Josh Allen, then that gives the Bills all that time to plan. Hey, when he does this, you got to do this, blah 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 blah. To game plan. So he's not going to do that. He knows. First rule is taking care of your division. Mm-hmm. He's not going to do that. He's just going to play, okay, we'll play our standard defense, and if the kid beats us, he beats us.
Well, truthfully speaking, the Bills' offense is not exactly potent, so I think you don't really do anything fancy on defense. It is very predictable. Very predictable. I want to go back and look to see how many times the Bills actually threw a pass on first down.
If you don't stop yelling, I swear to God.
I'm just curious.
Because they're going to kick us out.
I'm just curious. I want to know how many times he threw a pass on first down. I honestly don't know, but I feel having suffered through parts of that game, right? I really feel like there wasn't a lot of first down passes. So go back and look at the play-by-play, but I don't really feel like there was a lot.
Maybe a couple times. I think on the opening drive he did.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're talking about the script. Like, again, like you're doing that. Man, once Stable gets off that script, man, it's like.
Did you see when they?
It's like he picks the same 4 plays over and over again. It's brutal.
They cut to the sideline. He's like looking at the script. He's flipping it back and forth. Mm-hmm. And McDermott was next to me.
You think McDermott was calling plays?
No. He looked at McDermott like.
Am I allowed to do my job now?
I mean, McDermott's telling him. McDermott would be like this. Mm-hmm. So next time.
Right.
I swear to God, if Allen runs this time.
Yeah. Yeah. If Allen runs this ball.
Join Haley in the football.
So Robert Sheary, are we still a little worried about Allen's elbow? He's been throwing some wobbly ducks lately. Ball seems to get there because he's got a cannon. Do you think it's footwork or elbow?
Could be a little bit of both. I think he's still hurt.
Dude, I'm always worried about whenever you have to start examining the elbow of somebody who made their living as a kid throwing. Right? Now, mind you, he did play baseball, but like he wasn't a recruited baseball player. Like he really shed baseball and focused primarily on football. So, the damage to his arm wasn't because you get somebody like Allen, you're going to pitch.
Yeah.
Can't throw changeup, can't throw curveball, doesn't matter. You're going to pitch. And that's going to put a lot of stress on that elbow and the ligaments inside of it. So when Allen went out, I got real concerned. Like, okay, I know you guys didn't take an MRI of that elbow when you were going to draft him. I know you didn't. Right?
Yeah.
But you're going to find something there that you're not going to like if you're not careful.
Oh, yeah. I think they did. I think they found something. And the injury just was like, oh. He's got this. Oh,
Yeah.
That happened.
Right.
That happened in which game?
Yeah, and it could have been anything. A sprain. He could still be playing through a sprained UCL. Like there could be anything there. But I think one of the problems once you start examining those elbow injuries, Robert, what ends up happening is you start losing grip strength and feeling in your hand, right? So seeing those ducks come out every now and again, that's absolutely possible that he's still dealing with some ligament damage in that elbow because that's precisely what would happen. He would lose feel of the ball in his hand. But remember, it's also 15 degrees outside. Like this is a kid that played in Wyoming. So
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm a little tentative on this one.
Well,
I think the signs are there that there might be some residual damage.
I think he's definitely hurt. I think he's definitely in pain. And I think that there's something that you got to remember though. If you can't feel the ball, a lot of those ducks come out because you're squeezing the ball too tight, and you know what I mean. You're like,
Yep.
You know what I mean. You know that as well as I do. When you start gripping the ball a little too tight, you start shoving it. It'll wobble. So I don't think it's the fact he's just losing feeling in his fingers. I think it's just that. It's that constant. It's almost like you're throwing a screwball all the time.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
with a football. I mean, it's not.
Yep.
I mean, you're throwing.
Yeah.
See this? I do that.
Yeah.
Okay, your thumb's supposed to hit your other
thigh
when you're throwing. So that constant motion when it's not probably not even healed correctly.
Yeah.
The deep ball didn't seem to take a hit.
No.
When he tries to loft it in there, but I just think he's just in a lot more pain than we think.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be some times where he was running the ball in those first 2 games where he didn't trust his elbow yet.
Yeah.
So that could be one of the scenarios too.
Sure. As far as Allen's footwork goes, Allen's footwork in college was dreadful, because he got real wide in the pocket.
Oh, yeah,
so,
we used to talk about
it was brutal. So, you'd see him start getting pressure around him, and he would take these real wide strides because,
he had the room.
He had the room, right? And in the NFL,
Kudos
you don't have
to
that
David
room.
Kelly.
Yeah, David Kelly, David Cully. Yeah, no,
I said David Kelly.
I didn't hear Kelly.
I mumble, so it's probably not the best for him.
Yeah, right. No, it's something that he's worked on hard, and honestly has made, mind the pun, huge strides with that.
Twice today, man.
That's
He's running
true.
into lines then, and then it's huge strides.
Yeah. When you have kids, your sense of humor just basically turns into a long series of puns and knock jokes. It's really kind of
everything but the
embarrassing.
dad bod.
Nope.
Shut up.
I don't.
I still got to win that bet.
I know you do. Oh man, this donut's gonna taste so good in a little
Josh Allen
bit.
bet is coming up soon.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, I was challenged after I said I could complete that bet.
Yeah.
There was an official challenge laid out that the throw that Josh Allen made in Miami, I got to try to replicate that.
Yeah.
And I measured it. It's 56 yards. I can throw 56.
Yeah.
I can throw 60.
Well.
I didn't say it was going to be a spiral or anything. All I have to do is have it hit a spot. That's all.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a trash can on the opposite numbers. And I'm going to run just as he ran.
Mm-hmm.
Mini crow's hop.
Yeah.
Go.
It should be interesting watching an offensive lineman run and try and throw a ball 60 yards. You got the speed of like Sam Adams right now.
After a few Sam Adams. How dare you?
What?
I am Tremaine Edmonds right now.
That's an overstatement.
He's 6'5", 250, right?
He also runs a 4.5 40.
I was just giving you dimensions. That's all.
You run a 4.5 10.
I didn't go that fast. I didn't say I was fast. I never did.
No.
I don't know why you keep trying to make jokes that I'm slow.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So we have to. You got any more, or we got to go film some stuff?
Yeah, I think we're going to go cut some content up. Don't forget to enter the Thurman Thomas helmet giveaway. So that link is in the description. Make sure you hit that link. We're going to away an autographed Thurman Thomas helmet, so you can enter every day. Go get
weeks.
Yeah, it's actually 2 weeks. We're going to be giving it away at the post-game show live at Dave and Adams. Hopefully we'll start the show a little bit earlier so that way the store's not closed. We got there and they're like, oh yeah, we close at 5. I was like, it's 5:15. Yeah, we start filming at 5:15. We're like, yeah, it's fine.
After the game, we will be over at, are we going to Duff's after that?
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know, perhaps. So click the link in the description to enter the contest for that autographed Thurman Thomas helmet. You can enter every day, so enter as many times as you can. That's brought to us by Buffalo Bills fans only and David Adams, who have been awesome partners.
Yes.
So anything you guys want, just make sure you hashtag Q&A in any chat, any video, anywhere, we'll get it and we'll be able to cover it. If there's an episode or something that you want to see this week. So again, if there's anything you want to ask, literally anything that's Bills related, hashtag Q&A. That could be about the draft. That could be about free agency. That could be about anything football related, you know. And with the holiday, how to throw a football? Yeah, I mean we could do that.
That live video is gonna be pretty fun.
Oh, it's gonna be hysterical. We're also looking at Mario has a segment, the 4-minute drill, where he kind of breaks down some play design stuff. So if you're ever curious about some of the concepts that we talk about or some things, that's sort of like an instructional guide.
Yes.
You know, breaking down a specific play. So if there's a play that you guys really want to see and understand how it broke down,
why did he run that? Why did he do this?
Right.
We're gonna start having some breakdowns of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a great thing during the offseason as well to kind of get your mind in football readiness for the draft. So that way when you start hearing about prospects or, you know, players that will be available in the draft or free agency, you know, we'll talk about them here every week. You know, you could just come in and some of those concepts won't be so foreign to you if it's something that you are new to. So this is Paul, and this is Mario from Hashtag Sports. Again, anything you need, hashtag Q&A. Enter the Thurman Thomas helmet giveaway, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Enjoy your week.